It's very okay to be a black woman in corny. As long as you look good and as long as you are beautiful, it pretty much won't matter. Some dude will still holler at you and talk to you, and it will still be quite okay. But if you happen to be a corny black man, your life is literally over before it starts. I grew up in Del Paso Heights and went to a school called Grant High School. I was in the GATE program, and being a corny black man and being a nerd, I got roasted a lot, and I was ugly. Stop the show. Some things never change. And like many young black men in the 90s, I felt the pressure to make my image a little bit more cool so I wouldn't get picked on or talked about, although I never really was bullied. But being cool just wasn't it. And so you would get those girls that would say certain things like, I mean, you cool and all, you just so damn lame. Or, I mean, I like you, but as a friend, I mean, maybe if you was a little bit more gangster, I'd give you a chance. And I'll be like, so you want me to shoot you? Would that make me gangster? Huh? Many black men go through this and they go to school, they get educated, they're gamers or whatever that is they do, and they develop over time. And there's a concept for it. It's called the late bloomer black men. I used to actually have talks about this on my channel a few years ago, and I actually invited a guy by the name of Ike, who was a late bloomer himself. He didn't get a lot of girls when he was younger, but he became an engineer and developed into a man. And here was the advice he gave black men watching that day.
You should consider yourself lucky as a man if you are a late bloomer, because by definition, you have your options open still. Because by definition, if you go down a path early, then your particular options narrow down, whether it be options vis-a-vis where you stay, family options, career options, so on and so forth, right? So you have options open, and then also you're going to be in a position whereby you have the ability to make choices vis-a-vis these options at a later stage in your life where you're wiser, right? Presumably you're wiser. Presumably you're not a late bloomer and just spending all that time late blooming, not doing anything. So you're in a better position in your life. You have more experience and you can make better choices with regards to those options that you have open. And also you have more leverage. Let's just put it that way. So I would say I 100% agree. If you find yourself being in that late bloomer position, you should count your lucky. You should be thankful because you've dodged all the bullets. You have more options open. You're in a position to make better decisions with regards to those options. And you have more leverage at the negotiating table, whichever negotiating table that is.
Fast forward. Now, we'll come back to that advice in a minute, but you know what's funny? A lot of black men are still complaining that black women just don't like them.
Why I do not date or take black women serious. And it's not because I don't want to talk or date or not take them serious. It's because on average, okay, your typical black woman will call me unattractive. Okay, so she calls me unattractive, but yet all the other races of women, immediately they fall in love with me. They love my personality, my character, the way I move, my intellect, how I do things. But the black woman, all she sees is in her mind, cornball. It's even, there is no in between. There is no gray area with the black woman. Okay. So if there's no gray area, I either have to be a thug or I have to be like a super white man, like a black man that's white. And if I'm neither one of those two things, I'm in the gray area. And if you're in the gray area with the black woman, you don't exist. She does not see you. Understand?
I honestly saw this video. Seemed like to me he'd be a brother that sisters would want to talk to. I mean, I don't see anything that's wrong with him, but the comments told the story. This lady goes, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. We do not give an F. Drop mic and walk away. Ashley Harris says, I'm a plus size woman and I can't imagine making a video about all the men who don't find me attractive. I wouldn't give nobody who didn't want me any of my energy. Other person said, I see why black women feel that way about you. Lash with Lex, even when y'all don't want black women, y'all can't stop talking about them. Stop the show. I want your ass for real. So Lash with Lex, call me. Other individual goes, LOL, the things a person can convince themselves of to sleep better at night. Got him. Other person goes, I agree with him 100%. He should date outside of his race. I mean, it was just crazy at this point as to what women were telling the guys. And it was like, hey, it's not that I don't want to build with you, but you don't like me. And as you can tell, there was absolutely no sympathy for his request. Fast forward. I happened to be doing another video for another channel, and I came across these group of black men talking about their experience living in Germany. Now, these are African guys, right? They're not in Black America. But something came out that was interesting.
Back to my next question, yeah? The white girls, they always like, you beautiful, you have a nice color, you look so nice, you from African. And the black girls always tell you ugly. They don't want to be with you.
And they don't want to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, and they don't want to talk.
So the guy clearly says here, why is it when I talk to, white women, they're saying like, hey, you're beautiful, but when it's the black woman, like, you're ugly, they don't want to date you. But wait, it gets even worse.
When I go outside with, like, the black girl don't want to date you. If you're rich, they want to be around you. But if you don't have nothing, they don't want to be around. But then when they see you with a white girl, it's also a problem.
It's jealous too.
So in this clip, even the black men in Germany are saying, hey, the black women don't want you, but if you get with the white woman, it's a problem. We're going to continue on. Just stick with me. So what happens with a lot of black men that late bloom or develop later? They work more on their skill set. Some black men are just, better at socializing earlier and spend a lot of their time developing that way. And other black men, they develop their skills and develop themselves into something that's important in the workforce or the private sector or whatever it is that they're doing. And ultimately what happens is through that pathway, you start to see people who might not always be black women. For an example, I went to Europe when I was 34 and I was living in Poland, and that was a very, very interesting experience for me. And I've been out of the country ever since. I've been out of the United States for 10 years straight. And I love living this life, and I love living this life so much, I've never really come back home. And it's because of the interesting people and opportunities that I keep getting, which forces me to deal and have interactions with other people that are not in my, particular community. And when you're dating, you're probably not going to be dating women from the African American community. It only happened once for me in that whole 10 years. And so many black men, when they're going down this path, they start to deal with non-black women. It's just almost obvious. And so when it happens, black women who didn't want these men when they were, like I said, available in the black community or whatever the case may yield, they start to say things like this.
I have never met a black man in an interracial relationship that has a healthy relationship with his own identity. And here's why. Number one, they fetishize their partner for their non-blackness and hold them over black women. Number two, they speak negatively on black women or on black people as a whole. Number three, they don't even identify with their own identity in blackness to then make themselves more likable or for them to feel more comfortable fitting Eurocentric standards or standards from another person of color. And four, they allow their partner to then culturally appropriate or to emulate black women without checking them or telling them what is culturally sound. Not to say there are no black men out there that have a healthy relationship with their own identity, but just from the ones that I've seen, it's usually giving self-hate, or you hate black women, or both.
I want to give a big shout out to Brother JR Wisdom, who made this excellent video called Black Men Who Were Once Called Corny Now Date White Women, and this happens. Now, this is a black lady that's basically castigating these black men for having these interracial relationships, but not taking into account that these same black men were probably ostracized or made fun of or were not desired in their younger years. And this brought me to another conversation. AfroTech. Fast forward! Now guys, AfroTech is the #1 black conference for like all kind of technical opportunities, whether it's AI, entrepreneurship, and it's not just a meeting ground for, getting opportunities or job connections. It's also an opportunity for a lot of these women who are single to try to find a man.
I'm recording this during AfroTech weekend. And if you're not aware, AfroTech is this big conference put on by Blavity that gets together a lot of Black people in tech on paper for job opportunities and career growth. But what I have heard from a lot of the people that I know going to AfroTech is that they are going to AfroTech looking for a relationship. And honestly, maybe I'm just mad that my team at work would not pay for me to go to AfroTech. But I have to come on here and say that, like, I am so sad for the girlies that it's come to this. I want to be very clear with what I'm saying, and that's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't go anywhere being open to a relationship or whatever. But what I'm starting to see is this like over strategizing and over taking in all this content on like how to get a man, where to go to get a man, what to do to get this type of man. And it's becoming ridiculous.
Now, it's interesting because these same women, possibly 10 years ago, when they were in high school or early on in college, they were not considering these same guys. But now that these black men are now late bloomers and these black men are, probably filled out, they have like some muscle now and doing good and have career upside. Now these same women are coming back and they're looking to engage these dudes in relationships at AfroTech. But here's probably what's not being talked about. A lot of these guys that are at AfroTech are there leveraging business connections, but they don't need mates. See, the women are there looking for mates, but the men really probably don't need mates. And it's probably also true that a lot of those men that have mates, those men are not dealing with black women there. And it's crazy because here's the one thing that is for sure true. Nerds rule the world. I don't care what color. Men who are competent, men who are consistent, men who are skilled, all of those men are always going to have options in the end, just like our brother Ike said early on in the video. And this is what a lot of black women tend to have a problem with, that these guys who were not really, they were not really interested in before. And again, to be honest, they didn't know these guys, but now these guys have developed and they're somebody now and they're with somebody of another race. But these are the same black men that were called corny. But now those black men are now efficient. These black men are now doing well. They're high earners. These black men are competent, but they were called corny before. And I know that because I was called corny before. I just was able to still, deal in the black community, and you still can make it as a corny black man with black women in black America. It's just that they have to like you, right? And so many guys got to have, the right self-esteem and be able to stand on your square and not be no punk, but you can still get sisters no matter what, as long as you're a man and you're about your business. But then for certain brothers, they get frustrated. But a lot of black women got to understand that the guy that's corny right now is gonna go and most likely be accepted by somebody that's accepting him how he is, and that's usually women of other races. Like we talked about with the guys out in Germany. What were they saying? Black women call them ugly or say that they're lame, and then the German girls are saying, but you're beautiful, you're from Africa, we want to date you. And then as soon as they get with these particular German girls or German ladies, now these same black women that were calling them corny are upset. And this is going to continue to happen. And again, I want to shout out JR Wisdom for the video idea. Subscribe, hit the bell, guys. Check his channel out. We out.